Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and here it is, my slightly delayed review of Godzilla, the 2014 blockbuster that I've been waiting to see since I heard about it being filmed a couple of years ago. It's going to be hard to do a review of this film without giving away any spoilers. One thing I will say right up front, that there are more than one monster in this movie. There is more than one monster. There are actually three. Two of them are what are called M.U.T.Os, massive unidentified terrestrial organisms, and of course the last one is Godzilla. And I'll try to make that the only spoiler I give away in this review. Godzilla, of course, was directed by Gareth Edwards, a British director who was well known for, before Godzilla, directing a little film called Monsters, which was real low budget and kind of was a polarizing film. Some people hated it, some people loved it. I loved it. I thought it was pretty good. But it was less a monster movie than it was a road story or a love story between two human characters. One of the things that Gareth Edwards brings to this Godzilla film is an improved human story in terms of comparing it to other Godzilla films, and most notably the American Godzilla, which was just a cartoon from beginning to end in terms of the human and the monster action. I think, though, that the human story in this version of Godzilla isn't quite as good as it could be. We've got a lot of great actors, but not a lot is done with them. However, the movie never gets boring. Their story never gets boring, and it keeps your interest. The only real problem I had with the human actors in this, I thought Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who is essentially the hero in this movie in terms of the human stuff, he was kind of bland. I didn't really like him too much, and you may know him from Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. He, of course, was Kick-Ass. I just didn't like him that much in this film. He was okay, but Bryan Cranston is by far a more interesting actor, and his character in this film is way more interesting than the character of Ford Brody, played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson. That said, though, you go to a Godzilla movie, you're not really going for the human story, you're going for the monster action. And one thing I will say about this is Gareth Edwards makes you wait for the monster action to pay off. It's almost like Jaws, where you get to see glimpses of Godzilla throughout the movie, but then at the end you get a really good payoff, and it builds a lot of anticipation. It builds, it kind of makes you use your imagination as to what's going on until the final third of the film. And for me, I think that was kind of a risky move, but I think it works, and I think it pays off, and it made me and the audience that I saw the film with stand up and cheer and clap at the end of the film. So I think it works. It's risky. I don't think a lot of filmmakers would do that in a blockbuster film featuring such a iconic character like Godzilla, but I think Gareth Edwards takes the risk, and it pays off by not kind of splurging with Godzilla for 2 hours. I think he's conservative with it. Some people have complained about that, but I think it's actually a smart move, and I think it works to the film's advantage. One thing I do have to say about Godzilla is that the special effects are phenomenal. I thought it would be hard to beat the special effects, the Kaiju effects in Pacific Rim from last year, but Godzilla 2014 just blows Pacific Rim away. For those of you who may be disappointed that this is not a film utilizing, that was my cat walking on my notes, utilizing suitmation, if you're disappointed that you're not going to get a man in a rubber suit to portray Godzilla, let me tell you that this film substitutes some of the, if not the best, CGI in a film that I've seen ever. It's absolutely phenomenal. The monster scenes are all very easy to follow. You don't get burnout on all the action. Everything happens with a lot of power, weight, and size, all being conveyed accurately, and it makes for a really epic feeling movie. Again, Gareth Edwards hits it out of the park in the special effects department, although of course he didn't do the special effects himself, but his direction and I'm sure his desires were carried out by the special effects crews, of which there are many. The special effects credits in this film go on for what seems like hours. again, I really had high expectations for this film. I think it lived up to all of them. The only thing I didn't like as much as I would have hoped would have been the human stuff, but again, you don't see a Godzilla film for the human stuff. So for a rating, I'm going to give Godzilla 2014 a 9 out of 10. Highly recommend you see it. Definitely see it in 3D, and if you can afford it, see it in 3D IMAX. That's how I saw it, and it was awesome. So if you could see it in a really loud, really well projected theater, that's great. From what I hear, regular 3D makes it kind of dim looking, and it's a dark film anyway, so definitely see it in a bright, a theater that you know has really good projection. And if you can, 3D IMAX is the way to go. Definitely worth the ticket price. So definitely see Godzilla, see it on the big screen. I will definitely be buying it on home video. A definite day one purchase, but I will also be seeing it again in the theater. It's that good. So I'm sold. Gareth Edwards. Let's hope that if you do make a sequel to Godzilla, it's just as good and just as successful, because apparently Godzilla is a huge hit. It made $93.2 million in its first American weekend and has almost made $200 million worldwide. So that's awesome. So you've already surpassed the 1998 Godzilla in 1 week. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. As always, feel free to rate, comment, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take it easy.